In the janitor's closet of Sunnyside Daycare lived a magical broom named Broomy. Now Broomy was no ordinary broom. You see, he loved to dance, and when the lights went out every night, he would boogie. He would throw disco parties with all the dust bunnies and the little spiders that lived in the rafters. Broomy would spin and twirl and shimmy and shake until the sun came up. Then he would return to his place by the door, waiting patiently for the next night to roll around so he could cut loose again. But one morning after a particularly rambunctious dance session, Broomy woke up and realized something. All of his fun had left the closet in a bit of a mess. There were cobwebs strewn about from his high-flying acrobatics and bits of glitter from when he busted a move called the sparkling sweep. Oh, and not to mention the giant pile of dust bunnies he and his friends had kicked up into the air there in the conga line. Now, normally, Mr. Jolly the janitor came in every morning to tidy up after the dance party. He knew about Broomy and the other magical creatures of the closet, and although he was a bit annoyed by the mess, he appreciated the enthusiasm. However, Mr. Jolly was retiring soon, and he had left it up to his daughter, Miss Mindy, to take over his job. And Mindy was not aware of any of the magic that happened after hours in the janitor's closet. As she walked in with her vacuum cleaner, she gasped, "What happened here? Who did all this?" Broomy peeked out from behind the water cooler and whispered to himself, "Oh, time to clean." And so while Mindy was at school, Broomy called an emergency meeting with all of the closet creatures. "Friends," he said, "it looks like we've got ourselves a bit of a jammy. We have to clean before Miss Mindy comes back or she'll find us, and who knows what she'll do." "We can hide under the floor mats," suggested Sparky the spider, who was known for his elaborate web designs and also for being a bit of a scaredy cat. "No way, Jose," said Duster, a crusty old dust bunny who had seen better days. "Hiding won't solve anything. Besides, Miss Mindy might just find us anyway. We need a plan, and we need it fast." Suddenly, Zoom, the littlest dust bunny with the biggest heart, had an idea. "Let's clean," he exclaimed. "If we work together, we can get everything back to normal before anyone even notices." "That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard," said Duster, rolling his eyes. "Cleaning is for quitters." "I believe in Zoom," said Broomy, knowing that despite his small size, Zoom always had a good heart and a lot of courage. "All right, let's clean," he announced to everyone. "It's gonna take a lot of teamwork, but if we put our minds to it, we can do it." So the animals got to work. The spiders spun webs to trap all of the glittery confetti and made sure not to build any new webs that might get in the way. The dust bunnies gathered up all of their discarded brothers and sisters and made neat little piles of them by the door. And Broomy, well, he danced. Yes, Broomy danced as he cleaned. He swept and he flipped and he shimmied and shook, sending all the debris into the waiting dust bunnies and webs. At first, it seemed like an impossible task. There was so much glitter on the floor, so many dust bunnies to collect, and not enough time to do it all. But as they worked, they sang. They sang songs about sparkling floors and dust bunny parades and how great it would feel once they finished. Their singing and their spirits lifted them up and made them strong. Soon, the entire closet was spotless. Just then, The bell on the front door jingled and in walked Miss Mindy. She looked around. "Wow," she said. "This place is spotless. Whoever did all this cleaning did an amazing job. I'm really impressed." She walked over to the window and looked out at the beautiful day. "I wonder who did all this," she said to herself. Suddenly, she turned around and gasped. Right in front of her was a brand new dust bunny. It was perfectly round and fluffy and white, and it had two big blue eyes and a little pink nose. "Hello," squeaked the little dust bunny. "Do you want to play?" Miss Mindy laughed. "You're a funny dust bunny, but I don't have time to play right now. I'm off to work." As she walked past the water cooler, she saw something strange. On the side of the cooler, someone had written, "Good job, Broomy." Then she noticed that all of the janitor's supplies were lined up in perfect rows. The bottles were neatly stacked, the cleaning gloves were folded just so, and the mops and brooms were standing straight up in the corner. A smile spread across Miss Mindy's face. "Whoever you are," she said, "you're hired." Then she hurried out the door to start her day. When Miss Mindy left, all of the closet creatures came out from their hiding places. "Did you see her, guys?" whispered Zoom. "She didn't see us." "Well done, everyone," said Broomy proudly. "We got the closet back in order, and we even made a new friend." "Yeah, but we're still covered in dirt and grime," said Duster, pointing out the cobwebs on his fur. "We need to get cleaned up before the next kid comes in." "Leave it to me," said Broomy, who had an idea. "I think I know just how to do it." He led the group over to the sink and turned on the water. Then he pulled out the biggest sponge he could find and dipped it in. "Behold," he cried, "a sod spectacular." He began scrubbing the spiders and dust bunnies, and they began to sparkle and shine. "I've never felt so clean," sighed Duster, once his fur was fluffy and white again. "Me neither," added Zoom, who was having the time of his life. Soon, everyone was as good as new. And Broomy, well, he danced again, this time to celebrate their accomplishment. From that day on, things were different in the janitor's closet. Broomy and his friends still danced every night, but now they cleaned up afterward. They even roped Marjolly into helping them, which meant that there was always someone around to clean up any extra messes they made. One night, as they were throwing their weekly dance party, Mr. Jolly approached Broomy. "Broomy," he said, "your dancing is legendary, but you've got a bit of a problem. Every morning there's glitter on the floor and dust bunnies in the sink and cobwebs everywhere. How does that happen?" Broomy blushed. Well, you see, Mr. Jolly, we like to throw these little parties, and sometimes things get out of hand." Mr. Jolly smiled. "Oh, I understand. When I used to come in here, things would get a little crazy. But you have to understand, my daughter isn't like me. If she finds all this mess, she's gonna think that some vandals broke into the school. So I'm gonna need you to tone it down a little. All right?" "Oh, sure thing, Mr. Jolly," replied Broomy. "We'll keep it down a notch." And so they did. They still danced, but they tried not to make too much noise. Then one night, just as they were getting started, they heard loud footsteps coming down the hallway. They all froze. Here came Miss Mindy with a flashlight. "I bet you're up to no good," she said with a smile. "Ready to dance?" And then they all danced. They danced with Miss Mindy all night long. They showed her their best moves, and she showed them some of hers. When the sun came up, They were exhausted but happy. "Thanks for joining us, Miss Mindy," said Broomy. "You're welcome," she replied. "This is so much fun. Let's do it again tomorrow night." And so they did. From then on, Miss Mindy joined the closet creatures every night for their magical dance parties. She even brought snacks and taught them all a new song called the Cleaning Boogie. So if you ever hear a broom dancing in the night, or a dust bunny singing with glee, or a spider rapping with all his might, just follow the music and you might just find yourself at the most magical janitor's closet in town.